Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Vinland Saga. Last time around we had Snake, where basically the guards, the guests, took the young master Olmar and was like, yo, you need to become a man. You need to go through something so that you can be a man. You need to kill somebody. Not with like a purpose or like with like just kill someone. Then you'll be a man. Sad, pathetic creatures they are. And so they decided, well, who better to have Olmar kill than slaves, particularly Einar and Thorfinn. Einar fought back, but Thorfinn just kind of stood there and was like, yeah, go ahead. I've got nothing else in my life at all. Go right ahead. And even when they started cutting into him a bit, he never flinched. But before he was hacked away to pieces, their boss came in named Snake, and he's now questioning what's going on. So yeah, very, very interesting stuff, definitely. Yeah, like always, the reaction is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. So let's go ahead and jump right into this episode of Vinland Saga. Here we go. You know, sometimes I talk about, how much can I praise one show, Can I keep doing this every episode? And you guys have said in the comments, don't worry, it's fine. Like, we're happy that you're praising it, obviously. Here's the genuine problem that I have. First and foremost, these videos are for entertainment. And so I try to be entertaining, Like, when I watch TV on my own, when I'm just sitting, in the evening watching TV on my own, I'm not big and bombastic like I am in a lot of other videos, I'm not sitting here by myself just going, oh, like I don't do stuff like that when I'm alone. So I play up a lot of it for the video, obviously. Now, not that it's not genuine. It is very genuine. I'm just, I'm genuinely exaggerating my feelings. I let my feelings and emotions out for the camera, obviously. But this may have been one of the hardest videos, one of the hardest episodes to record, because there are some times where it's just like, I can't make a joke. I can't make a joke here. Like, I imagine in the reaction that you just watched, there are going to be many moments where there is just a clip playing and I don't say anything, and then it's going to cut to the next clip and then I don't say anything. Because a lot of that was hard. That was really hard. That was one of the most, emotional episodes, Just, and there's also a concern I have that I think I have terrible blank face. And so a lot of times while I'm doing the reaction, and this is just, when I'm not on camera, I just kind of have this blank face. But don't think that this blank face means I do not care, Like, I'm taking everything in and it is hitting me like a ton of bricks. But I hope that was interesting to watch. I'm going to be honest, at least for this episode, this show had to carry me, Like, a lot of the times, and I don't even say, oh, I carry the shows in these videos with my entertainment. No, obviously, the reason you're watching these videos, first and foremost, is because you want to see the show, It's so that you can see the show through the lens of me, basically. But that can be difficult if I don't give anything to you, And in that episode, I hope you enjoyed it, because boy, I was quiet. I was so quiet taking everything in, you know? That said, welcome back to another episode of one of the greatest anime of all time. Like, it is absolutely ridiculous how amazing this anime is. This is now going to be one of my top recommendations for show this to people who do not watch anime, you know? Because holy crap, this is so good. Like, I don't know if I can necessarily dethrone Full Metal Alchemist, but this is up there. This is like at least number 2 of my big, you know, anime recommendation to people that don't watch anime. This show is so good, you know? Like, Full Metal Alchemist, I feel like, is a show that everyone can get into. Like, if someone says, hey, you know, I want a dramatic anime, and there's a lot of dramatic anime out there, but I want a really dramatic anime, that's my first one, you know? I see all these things about, you know, harems and schoolgirls, and I want to see a serious anime. Here you go. Here's Vinland Saga. And it's interesting, you know, because I remember, because I was looking up the Blu-ray of season 1, because I do like to get physical media of stuff, even if I've already watched it, you know, so I'm obviously watching this on Crunchyroll, but I like to have, like, a physical media collection, and, you know, in this day and age, it gets a bit more applicable, a bit more appropriate with every passing day. But I was looking up the Blu-ray of season 1 of Vinland Saga, and I did see a review that talked about, like, oh, you know, the story can be so confused, like, it doesn't know if, you know, if Thorfinn is the main character or if Askeladd is the main character. And I'm just sitting here kind of like, yeah, but that's the point. That's the point. That's literally crucial to Thorfinn's character, that he's not actually that interesting of a character in season 1, you know? Like, that's entirely the point, but I can see how you can miss that, you know? I can see how you can miss that, you know? But that's entirely crucial to the story, because now we get Thorfinn's character and his character arc, and it is emotional. The most emotional story we've had pretty much since we lost Thor's, I would say, you know? It's like we literally had to have season 1 shape Thorfinn into nothing. Like, everything was set up at the beginning for him to be the main character, but it was too soon. It was too soon for his character arc. So they literally had to go through all of season 1 to almost deconstruct him as a character, not in an actual, like, you know, we're going to go over all his flaws and everything, but to literally break him down to being not a character. And then we have to see, so how does he now work with him carrying the story, you know? And here it starts with, you know, that instinct to live, because when Snake went for him, he saw Askeladd, and that's brilliant, you know? It's like, there was recently I was watching an episode of The Sopranos, and, you know, things were happening. This isn't exactly a spoiler of The Sopranos to say Tony is depressed. Like, that's not really something, but something similar happened here. Something similar happened with this episode, and Tony kind of, like, came out of his funk, basically, and he said, I tell you what, in that moment, I just wanted to live. Like, every fiber of my being wanted me to live, and he basically gets out of his funk. It's a shock to his system, you know? And it's kind of the same thing here, where Thorfinn is just out of it. Like, here, if you want an analogy for Vinland Saga, it's like if you mixed Game of Thrones with The Sopranos. There you go. That's how you can get people. That's enough, like, buzzword titles to get people in on this show. So anyway. But it's kind of the same thing here, where it's like, and it's specifically Snake, and the way he reacts to it as well, with that laugh, like, looks like you do want to live. It's like, okay, he is a lot like Askeladd, he's almost like a proto Askeladd, and that's really interesting. That's really interesting, having it like that, and having that be the jolt to his system. Basically, his instincts kick in, and he kicks him. He kicked him. Oh, it was great. So, but now that really sets off. I know every episode I'm like, now this really sets off his character arc, but you know what I mean, you know what I mean. And now he's questioning everything. Does he want to live? But now he has to question, live for what? What does he want to live for? And, at the very least, like, live because someone let you live, It's because of someone that you were able to live, For Einar, it's his family. He lives. He lives because they can't, He lives so they don't have to. Anyway, this is a stupid reference, but he lives because they can't. And a similar thing here is, if anything, live for Thor's, your father, Live for him. And, they, again, and they don't show that, which is interesting. Like, they don't show Thorfinn thinking of Thor's or thinking of Askeladd at the end of season 1, Like, they don't show him thinking of that, but he is contemplating it, What can he live for, But that's also what Askeladd said before he died, It's like, go live your life, be free of me, be free of this, Go find Vinland, go do what your father would have wanted to do, Go do the things that we could not do, And can that message get into his head, But that was good. And it's interesting, too, because this should also kind of be a bit of a parallel with, only the slightest parallel, I guess, of, Thorfinn not killing Askeladd in his sleep, and Askeladd, he did kill his father in his sleep, but Einar basically does the same thing, and he goes for it, but then he ends up stopping, and it's basically the thing of Einar's a good boy, Einar is a good man, and he cannot bring himself to do that, he cannot bring himself to be the beast, But just because he hates, warriors and war and all that stuff, that doesn't mean he doesn't understand them. Now, he understands Thorfinn, Even if he doesn't know what Thorfinn has lived through, he understands him now. But that was an interesting thing. And for a moment, I thought, are they going to do a similar thing where he thinks about doing it and then he doesn't, but Thorfinn is awake, And it's like, well, it's, almost a mirror of Thorfinn almost killing Askeladd, But they didn't go for that. And it's good that they didn't. Because this worked out, because it's a completely different situation anyway, because the reason Thorfinn didn't kill him is because of his pride as a warrior, basically, where Einar stopped himself because he realized he couldn't do it, It's not even a thing of like, oh, he has his morals or anything. It's just, no, he just physically and emotionally cannot bring himself to do it, So and I mean, he's got to be 17, 18 at this point, I would imagine. I don't know how old exactly he is. I guess I could look that up, but however old he is, it's just too far gone. I mean, it's the same thing of like, you know, what we were talking about last episode with the whole thing of, you know, Thorfinn. His entire life, essentially, a majority of his life has been dictated by his desire to kill Askeladd and get revenge. And now that it's gone, he doesn't know how to live with himself because he was only 6 years old when that began. So, okay. Einar is 20. He's 20 years old in his first appearance, so that's good. You know what I like? I like that the wiki fandoms have finally learned when it says status, like to show like what happens to them basically, they hide that so you specifically have to click it. So, I didn't get spoiled on anything. That's great. No, actually he dies next episode. I'm sorry to say. They were doing trees and then he just exploded. I don't know what to tell you now. Anywho. we joke. We have fun. See, I can make the discussion fun and interesting and, you know, big and bombastic and all that stuff, but in the actual video, that was difficult. That was very, very difficult, but anywho. But yeah, but he could not bring himself to do it, you know? And, you know, you can see, like, he can see, you know, how Thorfinn has been shaped by this, you know? Like, the fact that he would stand there, take all those hits because he doesn't want to live. The whole thing of, you know, he doesn't have his manners, basically. He can forget his manners and he's so quiet. It's like, you know, Einar can figure out what has happened to Thorfinn, even if he doesn't know explicitly, and he doesn't want to know explicitly, but he understands it. And it's because of that he sees Thorfinn as a victim. It's like how we talk about Demon Slayer. It's like, yes, the demons do very terrible things, but even the demons themselves are victims to the original, you know? The one that turned them into these monsters. But even still, it's like, you know, yes, Thorfinn is a victim of what has happened, to the hell he's gone through in his life. Does that erase the terrible things he's done? No, but you understand him. It's not black and white, you know? It's not black and white with Thorfinn. It's like, he's a man who has done terrible things, but you understand, even if you don't know the specifics, you understand how he has gotten to this point in his life, you know? And, you know, Einar being the good man that he is, you know, even though it's frustrating to him, he gives him the lesson of, you know, you need to live because other people let you, you know? Other people made it so that you could live. And that's just really, really damn good. So yeah, another brilliant episode of Vinland Saga. Again, I hope the reaction was good enough. I really, there's so much emotion. But obviously you guys knew that when you were coming to this episode. So yeah, where we are going next, they seem to be teasing Canute, the return of Canute. He cut his hair, looks like. So, at least I'm assuming that's Canute. It might not be, but I don't know, like, blonde hair, blue eyes, like, I'm just assuming it is Canute, so. But that is basically it. With all of that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist with all of my Vinland Saga reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.